Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Mom Talk. Hi, Victoria.
Hi.
I haven't seen Victoria in 2 full weeks in real life, and
Has it been longer than that even?
Maybe-
It's been so long.
maybe 3.
Yeah.
So we text every day, obviously, but it's not the same if I don't get to catch up with you and see you.
I know.
We're used to seeing each other at least 4 days a week.
Yeah.
But luckily, I'm off on Mondays, and that's when I get to come see you.
Yeah. I don't have much else going on right now.
But, okay, so 2 Mondays ago, the kids were out of school. I
Yes.
think for like teacher in service, which, is great for me because I want extra time with my kids.
Right.
Don't have to rework my schedule. But then last Monday, I believe, started my Hell Week, if I'm correct.
I think it did.
So Emma got sick Sunday. She was with Michael. I got the heads up that she wasn't feeling well. And then when I saw her, I was like, oh my gosh, she feels terrible.
Yeah.
And then that Monday, she woke up and we got ready for school, thought we were going, but she asked to stay home.
And that doesn't happen.
That never happens because
Yeah.
you know how much the work piles up.
Right. And
Especially
she
in middle
rallies.
school. Yeah, she will push through.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, she's really sick. We stayed home on Monday together, didn't get to see you. And then Tuesday she did go to school. I went back to work. Wednesday they were in school. And then Wednesday after work, I got in a little car accident.
Yeah. Was that your first accident ever?
Yes. 38 years going strong.
Okay, that's a good streak.
Yeah.
Make it another 38.
I mean, not even a bump, a fender bender, nothing.
Right.
And this was coming home from work on Memorial. For y'all that have been here a while, you know where the old Premier is. And 5 o'clock traffic. So the turn lane was super backed up. And somebody was trying to turn in front of me into the apartments.
Okay.
So it's literally like the movies. When you say you never saw it coming, I didn't see anything.
But they say that's good though, because you don't have time to brace
Okay.
and get tense.
I thought about that because I haven't
Yeah.
been sore.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So it's like all in a split second, a blur. I'm like, is this happening? Am I in a wreck right now?
Is this me?
Wow, am I okay?
Am I bleeding?
It was
Am I
really
injured?
scary.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds scary.
So probably like in 5 seconds that all happened, and then I was like, I hopped a curb and then plopped right back down.
Okay.
I had my seatbelt on, so I didn't go far. My knees hit the dash. Like, I knew I could feel that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what do I need to do? Like, do I have flashers? Like, everything is just so
Yeah, what do you do?
weird. So
What's the protocol?
I found my flashers that I've never used.
I think about that sometimes. I'm like, if I'm ever in a wreck, please, A, don't let my kids be with me.
Yes.
Thank goodness you were
Yeah,
coming home from work.
my kids were not with me.
And B, I need someone with me because I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm like, what's standard? Well, luckily, I was so close to work. I called Amy.
Duh.
I was like,
You
I
need
am
an adult
fine.
to your adult.
I know. I needed her to tell me what to do. And, she always knows what to do.
Yeah.
So I got out the words, I'm fine, barely, and was crying. I was like, you have to get up here.
Yeah.
She got up there in no time flat.
I mean, yeah, it's 2 seconds from work.
Yeah, so that was good. But then I'm like, gosh, how is she going to actually get up here through all this backed up traffic?
How'd she do it?
She parked across
walked.
the street. Like, is it a nursing home? Is it a retirement home?
Oh, it's like a memory care nursing home
Okay.
situation.
So she parked there and just walked over to me. I called Mom immediately after Amy, and
Yeah.
I was already
Good for you for being able to think who's the closest.
I know. I was like, oh, Amy's right there.
Yeah.
And I need some help.
Yeah.
Mom pretty much got there equally. She must have been,
She was nearby.
she was getting there. And, as a mom, I could tell how worried she was about me. And then I was like, I don't even know if I said I'm okay to her. Like,
Right. I was in a wreck.
Yeah.
The end.
So I don't know what she was thinking the whole way there. And she parked almost the same place as Amy. Like, she came in like the back apartment way and just parked by the children's clinic and walked over. I mean, the first responders were so nice. It did flash through my mind. I wonder if Jarrett.
He was on shift.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was just not at that station.
Okay. So I did know the firefighter, and I did know is it an EMT that comes first, or?
Like the ambulance?
I guess it was. I mean, I didn't see which vehicle he came out of, but like red shirt and.
Oh, yeah, probably EMS.
Okay.
Probably.
So I knew him from school.
Okay.
So it was really nice to have those two
You just knew everybody.
familiar faces. And a lady came over and helped me open my car door. I couldn't get my car door open. So it hit me the front driver's side, but not in my door, like right in
Even
front
a
of it.
good spot, like if you had to get hit in the front.
Yeah, it missed me.
No airbags.
No airbags. And everybody was asking me that. I guess that's a big question.
Yeah.
But I was glad. I didn't want that high impact, I guess. I mean, if I needed it, I want them to work, but
Well, that's like I texted Jarrett and he was like, "Did our airbags deploy?" I was like, "Did your airbags deploy?"
I know, like that was first question.
Yeah.
And then next question was, is it drivable? I'm like, well, not to me.
I don't think it is now.
I mean, truly, the part of my car was on the ground, like a tire
Right.
completely popped, like,
Yeah.
and I'm not getting back in there. So you tell me.
Somebody let me know.
But no, a nice lady came over from that place, the retirement place or whatever it's
Okay.
called, and she was a nurse there.
Oh,
So she actually got to me first
look at that.
and sat with me.
Oh,
So sweet. I know. That was really nice. And the police officer was nice. Everybody was so nice. He moved my car for me into the children's clinic parking lot. Then I had Mom and Amy. He's taking everybody's report. And of course, while all this is happening, my kids are blowing up my phone.
Do they know?
They didn't know, but they knew it was after work time.
Like, were their spidey senses tingling?
Must have been. And Emma had dance, so I was supposed to come get her for dance. Like, I wasn't late. I think she just had to, maybe she was going to, I thought she was going to ask me something. So I get myself together. I call them back, but not on FaceTime.
Yeah, we can't do that right now.
But immediately they're like, but where are you? Why didn't you answer? Why aren't you on FaceTime? I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting the 3rd degree.
You sure are.
But I did go ahead and tell them, and I thought I was good. Mom's like, do you think they believed you were fine? I'm like, well, I really tried to sell it, but they made me go on FaceTime. So got all that wrapped up. Still went and took Emma to dance,
Okay.
which I really did want to. And I
know.
knew they were probably worried about me. So if they saw me,
Yeah, give them some peace of mind.
they would feel better.
Yeah. What did you drive? How did we get to dance?
Okay, so
We
Mom took
teleported.
me home. Mom to the rescue. She
Okay.
has an extra truck,
Yes.
which she would have let me take her car no matter what anyway.
Right.
So drove her car. And then Emma, when I got there, Emma was like, the reason we were trying to call you is because Henry feels sick. I was like,
Oh.
oh no. So I was like, give him some Motrin. Let's see what happens. Take her to dance, come back. He is under 2 blankets with the chills. Had Motrin, still had a fever. He was like, I don't, my legs hurt, my arms hurt.
Everything hurts when you got a
Everything
fever.
hurts. I was like, okay, so he probably has the flu. So he gets to come home with me that night instead of stay at Michael's,
Good.
which I prefer.
Yeah.
So Thursday, we end up both staying home. And I didn't plan on that after the wreck. Like, I felt okay. I know some people are like scared to drive after, and I totally get that. But I was like, okay, let me get in this car and find out.
I mean, yeah, you drove to dance that night.
Right. So I didn't feel scared, but
I feel like I'd feel paranoid.
extra cautious. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that car's getting close.
You need to put your brakes on, ma'am.
I was glad that I ended up being off. It's so weird. Like, I don't know if my body still had like adrenaline or just like that super tense. But even while I couldn't even sleep that night, my mind wouldn't turn off. My body wouldn't turn off. Like, I kept trying to relax myself.
Not happening.
That's not working.
Yeah.
So it actually was really good to be off with him on that Thursday.
And you have a lot of phone calls to make, too.
Okay, that could have taken all day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Right.
But I will say my insurance has been great, like super helpful.
Okay.
They set up my rental car. I got reimbursed for the tow truck to take my car.
Okay.
I mean, police report came back super fast. So that actually is good, especially when you're dealing with all that insurance stuff.
Right.
I feel like that's all in place. I don't think I'll have my car back anytime soon. The body shop said I would be lucky if it was ready in a month.
Ooh.
I know.
So get really comfortable in your rental.
I know. And, this sounds so bougie or whatever, but I'm used to driving a big car. I have
Yeah.
a Yukon.
Yeah.
I know I only have 2 children, but they have a lot of stuff.
I mean, y'all are dancing and baseballing.
Yes. And they were like, well, insurance covers a standard size SUV. I'm like, well, it sounds like mine is a standard. They were like, no, a Murano, a Highlander, something like that. I was like, okay, it's going to be fine. You could pay the extra.
Oh, you can pay extra?
'Cause I did
I was
ask.
going to say, what if you had 82 kids and you needed a bus?
I know. Okay, so some insurances, like he said, mine in particular, if I were to be paying for somebody's rental car, they would get what they're accustomed to. That's just the kind of insurance I have. He said that typically other insurances, which she did have insurance, thank goodness, only covers up to 25 per day. So
Okay.
I'm sticking with it because if I do have it for a month, I don't
yeah.
want to pay.
That's a lot.
It's $11 difference a day, but that would really add up in a month.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're fine. We're making this terrain work.
It'll be okay.
And it is the same make, whatever you call a car, as my Yukon.
It's similar on the
So
inside.
yes, I
Handles similarly?
knew how to do some stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel short?
I feel like I'm on the ground
Yeah.
instead of up high. And I will say I was glad I had a big car when I got in the wreck.
Yeah.
I feel like I
More
was above.
security?
Yeah, I don't know. She had a small car, so I was glad I had that. Okay, so Henry's sick. I'm recouping. He is miserably sick. We are not getting better. We're still sick Friday. We're still sick Saturday. We're still sick Sunday. And I'm like, how is he going to go to school? Like, should I keep him home another day? He's
Did you
already
take him
missed
to the
2.
doctor? Or are we waiting this out?
No, I took him to the doctor because his main symptom was a really sore throat.
Okay.
I was like, okay, maybe this could be strep and we'll fix it up.
I love it when it is strep because
I
there
know.
or ear infection. Just like give me the antibiotics.
Right, give me the amoxicillin.
Yeah.
The test came back negative. I was like, okay. So I'm back to a virus, flu, something like that. He got worse on Friday. I called the doctor. I was like, what do you think about antibiotics? Like, what if the 3-day strep comes back?
Right.
She was like, let's try it. I woke him up at 11:20 p.m. at night to give him amoxicillin because she called it in like close to the end of the day. So, it takes a
And
while to
then,
get ready.
yeah, by the time it's ready.
Also, I had my high school reunion.
What a week you had.
It was 20 years. We did it
Dang.
Friday night.
20 years.
I know. And I didn't want to leave Henry. But I'm like, this is literally once every 10 years.
Yeah.
And Emma was there with him and such, the mom.
And he was okay.
He was okay. I just, I don't want to
No,
leave
yeah,
them when
mom
they don't
guilt.
feel bad.
Mom guilt, yeah.
So I went to that for a couple hours. I was like, y'all just get in my bed and lay down and go to bed if you want to. So they did end up doing that. But
And Emma's better at this point. She feels fine.
Emma is all better.
She had it for 2 seconds compared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never as bad as Henry. So I wake him up after that, give him amoxicillin, give it to him Saturday morning. I'm really hoping 2 doses and we're going to notice a difference.
Yeah.
No. I know. He had to skip his baseball tournament, which he was really bummed about. And here we are again on Monday, and he is still sick. But he hasn't had a fever for at least 48 hours. I gave him some Motrin. I told the teachers he's still not 100%, but he's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go pick him up around lunch for more Motrin.
Yeah. Dang. So what do we do in this situation? Do we go back to the doctor? Do we wait it out? What do we do?
Okay, I would like to say that, I feel like a really seasoned mom having a 12 and 10 year
Every
old.
time my kids don't feel well.
But then when you can't fix them, you start that spiral.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Do I even know what I'm doing? So,
I mean, you do, but why is nothing working?
and I just feel so bad that he feels so bad.
Yeah.
Today is day 5. In my mind, if he doesn't feel better tomorrow or the next day, I'm just going to have to call her back and be like, is something else going on?
Yeah. Do we need to dig a little more?
Because I know, if it were the flu or a virus, those can last 7
Yeah.
days. I just am so sad for my babe.
Yeah.
We're not really eating.
Well, I'm glad the fever's gone.
Fever's gone. And Henry is my shadow
Yes.
on a normal day.
Yeah.
He likes to be close
Lovey-dovey.
to somebody.
Yeah.
This has really amped him up by 1,000.
Oh, he is your skin now?
We live together in one body.
It's like you're pregnant again.
If I look away, he's like, what are you looking at? I want you to watch me do this. I'm like, well, okay.
Wow.
So I did.
And I know you like that.
I do.
But are you smothered?
Yesterday.
Like in a good way, but like also, it takes me back to like where I kind of am in life with my kids right now. Like Remy's always on me, and Mason's always, Mom, watch me, watch this,
Yes.
watch this. Like that's what I'm hearing.
The watch this phase.
Yeah, and like I love it, and I know I'll miss it, but sometimes you're like touched out.
Yeah, and
I
I
want
would
some space.
I would never think I would get touched out, but yesterday, oh my god. And I wasn't mean to him, but I was like, I need just a minute. If
Yeah.
you want to go blah. He started crying
No.
cuz I know he feels so bad.
Yeah.
And he said I was being mean,
Oh.
which then that made me feel terrible. I was like, okay, let me just sit here and not move the rest of the day with you
Yeah.
on top of me.
Yeah.
So that's what
And
we
you
did.
still feel fine
I feel fine.
from your wreck and the sickness.
Yeah, like I said, I was not sore.
Okay.
There was a day where I was like, am I getting sick or am I just kind of exhausted?
clearly exhausted.
Yeah. But, I mean, I feel better now. And I want him to go to school. I love him so much. But I needed a couple hours.
Yeah. Some normalcy.
Yeah.
Like, you had a very not normal week.
It was a long week.
It felt like a month, didn't it?
If not longer.
Yeah.
Okay, but when did Jarrett leave for New York? Have I seen you?
No.
Okay.
So-
Was that the week before?
Yeah.
So we haven't seen each other
We
for 3
haven't
weeks.
seen each other in 3 weeks.
And he was gone an entire week.
So he left on Monday. Don't ask me which Monday in this,
In this
time
scenario.
frame. He left on a Monday at 4 a.m. is what time they left the station. So he left the house at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
On a Monday, they drove 14 hours to New York in a van.
Okay, now
6 men.
why did they drive and not fly? I know you told me, but
I don't know exactly. I don't know if it was a cost thing. I don't know if it was they had to take gear and that, would have obviously been expensive to fly all that gear.
okay.
But yeah, so they drove to New York. He was gone for, was it 6 nights? He came back Saturday.
Okay.
So he was going to ride back in the van on Saturday, but my parents had 8 million points, flight points, and so we got him a flight for like $5.60 to come
Okay.
home.
You cannot beat a $5 flight.
So, sir, you're hopping on that plane.
Yes, we need you back here.
Yeah, so it was a crazy week while he was gone, but I mean, we made it. It was fine.
Okay.
Right before he left, Remy was running outside.
That's right.
2 nights before he left, she was running outside, and she ran and she fell on the concrete, face planted, and like I was right beside her, and I heard a crack, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's her nose. Like, I don't know why. Like, she was completely face down, but in my mind, it's like her nose. It's her nose. So I pick her up thinking like we're gonna have blood gushing, and I was looking at her nose, and there wasn't blood, and so I was like, okay, we're okay. What was that crack though?
Right.
I'm like checking her arms, her chin, just a fountain.
Oh,
I
that
was
poor
like-
babe.
Oh, she's screaming. Mason's in his sandbox. He said, it wasn't me.
He's like, I'm in the clear this time.
I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it wasn't you. But Mason was so attentive to her. He like ran inside faster than I could even scoop her up. He got paper towels, Band-Aids, ice. Like,
That is so sweet.
He was very
He knew
sweet.
what to do.
And then I didn't know if we needed an ER trip or not.
Yeah.
And Jarrett being, he has his EMR. He's got some medical knowledge, especially like first aid situation like that. I was like, do we need to take her to the ER? He was like, hard to say. He's like, probably.
Yeah.
Like, it's so disgusting. It almost looked like fatty.
I know exactly what you're talking about. From when Henry did his, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like inside out.
Yeah. I'm like, I think we need to stuff whatever I'm seeing back into your body. So I got it cleaned up enough to go. We went to the ER, and I was so impressed with the ER visit.
Okay.
Let me tell you what. We walk in, give her name and her birthday. We sat down. I don't know if my butt even touched the seat, and they called us back to
Yes.
a little triage spot. Looked at it, and they were like, oh, we can just glue this.
Okay.
They glued it in the triage area. The longest part was discharge. Like, from the time it happened to the time we were leaving, it was like 47 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
were
that-
they empty or they were just on it?
They were just on it. I think it was just such a quick, easy thing.
They knew they could.
They knew they could whip it out real quick,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thankful for it. Like,
Yes.
the longest part was waiting on our discharge papers to sign
Right.
and like print. Yeah.
Were
it
you
was-
happy with the glue?
I was happy she didn't have to have stitches.
Right. That's a relief.
Which, when she had to get a staple in her head, she took it like a champ.
Yeah, she did. God.
And even with the glue, she's not crying at the hospital. She's just like laying there bleeding out of her chin.
Wow, she's just chill.
She is the boss.
Okay.
But she's me.
Yeah, that's right. She is.
So she did great. The glue fell off less than 24 hours after.
Oh,
And I was like, cool, that's good.
did,
What am I gonna do?
How long did they say it would last?
So she said it would come off in a few days.
Not the next day.
Not in like 12 hours. So, but she also said we had to keep it dry, and then they gave her a popsicle. I'm like, have you ever seen a 2-year-old eat a popsicle? That's not staying dry on her chin.
No, or anything she's eating or drinking.
No. So I think that was unrealistic, but her chin is healing really nicely. It's like a little scab still, but
Is it like where you can see it on her chin, or is it kind of underneath?
it's kind of underneath.
That's good.
But I don't know if as she grows, it'll become on her chin,
Right.
like how your skin moves.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then the next day, Jarrett wakes up with a migraine. He, like, can't do anything. Let me back this up, too. He had a vasectomy a week before this.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah, so he had a vasectomy the Friday before all this went down. So it was chaotic.
How long did it take him to recover from that?
Like, fully? I think we might still be working on it. But,
Oh, man.
yeah. He was fine the first day, and then day 2, he was, like,
Yeah.
not as great. Day 3, I think, he was like, what have I done?
Wow.
I mean, he's not taken any of the pain meds they gave him. He's been able to just, like, tough it out, but
And does he not want to take them, or
he
just?
doesn't want to. I think he's trying to prove something. I think this is like
I'm gonna
trying
show
prove.
you.
Show me what though? Just
Yeah.
take the meds, feel better.
Right.
And he's like, you had a C-section. You didn't take any of your pain meds.
You're like, okay,
And I'm like, and
right.
I did take medicine though. Like he won't even take Tylenol. I'm like, I was taking Tylenol and ibuprofen combo.
Of course.
I did not take the pain pills they sent me home with.
Okay, so what's wrong with the Tylenol for him?
I don't know. He did end up breaking down and taking Tylenol.
Thank goodness. Like, I feel bad. He's in pain.
Yeah, I know. And he woke up with this migraine the day after Remy busted her chin. And I'm like, he's supposed to leave for New York the next morning. He has a migraine. He's recovering from a vasectomy. Remy's chin is bleeding. I'm like, are you sure this trip is good?
Right, because I'm seeing signs it's not.
I don't think you need to go. I don't think you're going to be okay. He did call his lieutenant and was like, hey, listen, like, I have this migraine. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he was like throwing up.
That's rough.
And he tried to do some real estate stuff on his laptop. And like, as soon as he opened that computer and looked at the screen, he was thrown up.
What did his lieutenant say?
He's like, keep me posted.
Okay, so he wasn't like, you have to go
No.
or you can't go due to these.
No.
Okay.
So I mean, after that, he took some ibuprofen and some Zofran, and then he was fine.
Okay. So he bounced back before he had to leave.
He bounced back before he had to leave. He slept fine. He ate dinner that night. Like, he bounced back that day.
That's good, because I know you would have been really worried if he had left.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was still worried because he was still kind of like walking like a penguin at times. So I wasn't like, I don't think you need to go to this heavy metal cutting class.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. He wasn't like sitting in like a session. He had to do stuff.
The first 2 days, I think he said, were like a conference style. So he was sitting.
2 more days to rest.
Yeah, so that was his point. He was like, look, I'm going to sit in a van for a day. Then I'm going to sit in a classroom for 2 more days. He's like, really, I have 3 more days till I'm doing something.
Okay.
And I mean, his paper said he was allowed to do stuff after 48 hours. Like, it's not going to harm him. It might not be comfortable, but he's not at risk of anything going wrong.
Okay, well, that's good.
But of course, I still didn't want him to go.
No.
And the kids, I thought they would have a really hard time. And Mason, I think, internally had a hard time, but behavior-wise, he was fine.
Okay. I mean, I don't want him to ever be sad,
Yeah.
but I know it's harder
Yeah.
when he's acting out toward you for something.
Right. And, I was really worried. I feel like a lot of it comes out towards me, but also at school.
Yeah.
Like, Mason's not that kid who's going to act great he is great in public most of the time, but he's not afraid to act out
Right.
at school. He's comfortable there. He loves it there. He feels safe there. And I'm thankful for that, but it also means he's going to act a fool.
Yeah, say how he feels.
Mm-hmm. But, on the week Jarrett was gone, Mason actually got married.
Oh my gosh. I hate Jared missed it. What happened?
So, yeah, this new little girl started at school, I guess, and Mason, one day I picked up and the teacher's like, hey, he's got a girlfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, we haven't had one of those before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day I picked up and the teacher's like, so we got married today. I was like, what?
Moving fast.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I think that kind of took Mason's attention away, really, from like,
okay,
he was on his best behavior if you're his wife.
He had something else to focus on.
Yeah, he was
and
not
it's the
focused
wifey.
on Dad's gone, I'm sad.
Okay.
But, at night, Jarrett was in class a lot. There is a time difference. And then they would be out to eat, and, like, we didn't FaceTime him like we would if they were on shift.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was hard. And Mason, one night we were able to FaceTime. And Mason's like, no, I don't want to FaceTime Daddy. I never want to talk to Daddy again.
Oh, he was in his feels.
I was like, okay, so your missing him has turned to a mad that he's gone.
Yes.
And, it broke my heart. The first morning, Jarrett left at 3:30 in the morning. So when Mason wakes up, Jarrett's gone.
Oh, he didn't get to see him.
No. He came in my room. He's like, Daddy, hey, he's gone. He went on his trip. Like, they knew he was
Right,
going
they
on a trip.
knew.
And he was like, but he didn't even tell me bye or that he loved me.
Oh, that's
I was
so
like,
sad.
"Ugh." And his little lip was quivering. He just started like silent tears falling out of his face. I was like, oh, Mace, I'm so sorry.
That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and then Mason, he knew Jarrett was going to a class. We had talked about it. But in Mason's 4-year-old mind, Jarrett was going to be at the fire station here in town doing a class, and we were going to be able to go visit him.
Oh.
And that was not it.
No.
New York is not 30 minutes down the road.
Right.
That was a hard one for him to digest.
Yeah.
But we made it.
And y'all made welcome back home signs and
Yes,
stuff?
we made like a cake. We decorated the house, balloons, streamers. We had confetti poppers.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. And my mom went and picked Jarrett up from the airport when he landed.
Okay.
Oh, that's another thing. So we got this $5.60 flight,
Mm-hmm.
but the layover was going to be in Baltimore.
Okay.
There was a tropical storm coming through.
How did you even know? I wouldn't even know.
Mom got, since she's the one who booked it, she got like an alert that some flights were being canceled or delayed or to anticipate it with this tropical storm. And so she tells me that. I'm like, So we look at the weather and like, what they're predicting and whatever. And it didn't look good for Jarrett to get out of Baltimore to get to Nashville. And there aren't any direct flights from Syracuse to Nashville. And not even just like on that airline, like on any airline. We were like, so we start searching all the flights to get him here.
Yeah.
Because if we can't get a flight to get him here that doesn't have a layover in the storm zone, then he just needs to get on that van and ride 14 hours.
Right,
and
so
not
at least he's
stranded.
home.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, because my thing was, I don't want to get stuck in Baltimore and have to spend the night like in Baltimore.
Right.
And it actually take longer. And he was going on shift the next day.
So he really did have to be back.
He really had to be back.
And y'all needed some time with him before he went back on shift.
That was the whole point of the flight.
Right.
Anyway, it worked out. Long story short, we got a flight that had a layover in Atlanta, which was outside the storm path. But like so many flights, like all of the flights I felt like from Syracuse to Nashville laid over in like New Jersey, Baltimore, like that whole area.
All the area.
But he got home and we got to have him Saturday, and then the next day he was on shift, so that was hard again.
Yeah.
And then the kids didn't get to see him until Monday after school and work.
Wow.
But, we have made it.
And now you're back in the normal swing of things. Like it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, trying to be normal. We still have a lot going on, like Remy's potty training.
Oh, that's fun.
That was fun. Last night was her first night in like her toddler bed, if you will. Like we took the front rail off her crib and converted it.
Okay, how'd it go?
She fell out at like 11:45.
She just rolled out.
We had a bumper in, but she fell right out like over the bumper.
Did it wake her up?
No. She was just asleep. Like, you know how babies sleep with their butts in the air?
Yeah.
She just repositioned. She still sleeps like that. She'll put her butt up in the air like a baby. I'm like, when are you going to stop that? But it's so cute. Don't stop.
So you heard her.
I have my baby monitor in her room's actually a Ring doorbell. So she can hit the button if she needs something.
Oh my
We can
gosh, that's
talk
smart.
through it.
Yeah.
It alerts me if there's motion. I don't know. It's a great
Wow,
baby monitor.
perfect.
Can't recommend enough.
Right.
So she, fell out, and Jarrett went up there and scooped her up and put her back in bed. She never woke up.
Wow.
And this morning I was like, oh, did you like sleeping in your big girl bed? She was like, yeah.
Oh, she's so proud.
I was like, did you fall out at all? No.
I'm
so,
good.
She's fine.
Okay, good.
Mason still will randomly fall out of his bed.
Does it wake him up? You're just laughing.
No, he does. He'll like randomly, I'll hear it. His room's right over ours, so I'll hear a
Thud.
boom.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, dang, Mason. He wakes up and like climbs back in bed and just goes right back to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Like he's never been injured, and it doesn't happen frequently. Maybe like 4 times a year.
Okay, so at least he's not like up all night afterward.
No.
Okay, good.
No. But like, did your kids ever fall out of the bed like that?
Yeah, that's why I asked did she wake up, because Henry is plopping out and not waking up.
Just asleep on the floor.
Yeah, Emma doesn't move in her sleep.
Wait, does Henry still fall?
Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of anytime recently, but he did when he was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Mason's in a queen bed. Remy's is just like this toddler bed. We don't have like a conversion rail or anything like that. Like it's literally her crib. You just take the front piece off.
I've seen that.
Night 1, she fell.
Bless her heart. Didn't bother her.
She's a trooper.
Okay, well, y'all are all caught up with our last 2 to 3 weeks. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast, follow us on Instagram, and you can find us on TikTok and YouTube. Thanks.
Bye.